Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into the captivating world of Shango. For those of you eager to uncover the layers of this powerful Orisha, well, you're in for a treat.
It's true. Shango's story is one of those that really grabs you. The way he blends into the Yoruba belief system, history, their whole idea of justice, it's incredible.
That's what always intrigued me. He's not just some distant god hurling lightning from afar. This was a living, breathing person, a king among mortals who rises to become something much greater.
Right, and that's a point that often catches people off guard. Before Shango the Orisha, there was the fourth Alafin of Oyo, kind of like their king or emperor. Even back then, renowned for strength and charisma, this guy had it going on.
Okay, hold on. Gotta rewind here. Paint me a picture of this ruler. What was he like before thunder and fire entered the scene? Were those always his thing?
Even as a human ruler, Shango was said to possess a larger-than-life personality. A warrior king, no doubt, expanding Oyo's territory like nobody's business. But, gotta add, a fiery temper definitely came with the package, sometimes a bit too fiery. It's this whole mix of strength and impulsiveness that becomes super important to his story, especially how he becomes the Orisha we're diving into.
Now we're talking. We got to unpack how a king goes from ruling lands to commanding the elements. Talk about a career shift, right?
You said it. So, Yoruba myths tell us Shango was incredibly ambitious, this burning desire to control thunder and fire, to really make them his own. This leads him on a quest to master these forces, but ambition, as it often does, leads to some tragic unintended consequences.
Wait, what went down? Did a massive lightning storm erupt or something?
You could say that. The myth says that as he's trying to wrangle these powerful forces, he accidentally unleashes them on his own palace. We're talking massive destruction, even deaths, some of his own wives and children caught in the chaos.
Talk about unintended consequences. That's heavy stuff.
Truly a tragic tale, and this downfall, this fall from grace, becomes the pivotal moment. This is what launches Shango from earthly king into a powerful Orisha, forever tied to the very elements that brought about his own destruction.
Hold on. So instead of ruining him, this tragedy actually elevates him to divine status.
Exactly. It gets to the heart of Yoruba cosmology. Becoming an Orisha isn't about being perfect or untouchable. It's about embodying the whole human experience, the good, the bad, the triumphs, the failures, the full spectrum.
So even with those missteps, those very human moments, that's what makes him relatable, right? He's not some distant perfect being.
Definitely not. That's what makes Shango so fascinating, this potent mix of power, impulsiveness, passion, capable of great love and, yeah, terrible rage.
But it's clear from everything we're seeing, he's not just brute force and destruction. That connection to justice really comes through.
You're right on the mark. While the thunder and fire, that spectacle, might draw people in, it's his role as this dispenser of justice that makes him truly stand out in the Yoruba worldview.
So there's more to it than just lightning bolts.
Way more. He's not just embodying these powerful forces. In many traditions, Shango is the enforcer of divine law, breaking oaths, lying, deceiving, abusing power. That's where he comes in.
Whoa, so he's like the ultimate judge, jury, and sometimes executioner all in one.
You could say that, but it's a key to remember. For the Yoruba, justice isn't just about punishment. It's about restoring balance, making things right. And Shango, with that fiery sense of righteousness, he embodies that ideal.
This is all so cool, but I gotta admit, when I picture Shango, it's those vibrant reds, that double-headed axe.
Yeah.
Pure power,
Hard to miss those symbols. And yeah, red and white, those are Shango's colors.
Right.
Red for that passionate energy, the intensity, white for clarity, purity, even that flash of lightning.
And that axe, the Oshu, it's such a strong image. What's the significance there? Just pure physical strength.
It's so much deeper than just a weapon. That double-headed axe, it speaks to a different kind of power, balance, control. How precisely Shango wields these forces of nature. Think about lightning. Quick, targeted, decisive. That's the energy of the Osha.
Wow, that makes so much more sense. It's like justice might be swift and powerful, but it should be measured, thought out. But tell me, with all this talk of power, justice, is there a lighter side to Shango? I came across mentions of music, dancing.
Ah, you found another layer. He's not all thunder and serious pronouncements,
Yeah.
Shangan loves music, drumming especially, and he's known for his dancing. In fact, Friday, that's traditionally his day, and those celebrations, packed with music, singing, dancing, the whole shebang.
Sounds like my kind of deity. But it's got to be more than just a good time, right? There's a deeper meaning behind all that rhythm and energy.
You're right on the money. See, for the Yoruba, music and dance, they're not just entertainment, they're expressions of Ace. It's this vital life force flowing through everything. And Shango, with his love for drumming, for dance, he eyes that vibrant energy, that pulse of life.
I love that. So you're connecting to this deep spiritual energy by embracing these art forms.
Exactly. And that's another piece of what makes Shango so captivating. This amazing fusion, power, justice, and this pure, infectious zest for life.
It's incredible how multi-layered it all is. Speaking of layers, our sources touched on something I found so interesting. How Shango's worship traveled across the Atlantic with the slave trade, evolving in new cultures. Tell me more about that.
It's a story of resilience, of adaptation, unlike any other. You have to remember, enslaved Africans were torn from their homes, forced to abandon their traditions. Yet their belief in the Orishas, in Shango, it didn't die. It went underground, found ways to survive.
So how did Shango endure in this oppressive new world?
Syncretism. It's this fascinating process. In places like Cuba, Brazil, Catholicism was king. So enslaved Africans, they started blending elements of their beliefs with those of their oppressors.
Wait, so they'd be worshiping Shango, but under the guise of Catholicism?
In a way, yes. They found these parallels between Shango and Catholic saints, allowing them to outwardly conform but secretly keep their faith alive.
Wow, that's amazing. Like Shango and Santa Barbara, the saint of storms, lightning, they saw the similarities and used it.
Exactly. It was brilliant. A way for their culture to survive. They might be venerating Santa Barbara, but in their hearts, it was Shango's strength they were calling on.
That's powerful how belief can endure. It makes you think about ancient figures like Shango, how they still hold so much meaning even centuries later, across continents.
Absolutely, and the story doesn't stop there. Today, Shango's not just in religious spaces. Art, music, literature. He pops up everywhere. He represents cultural pride, resistance that fight for justice, this symbol of strength when you're facing down adversity.
It's amazing how his legacy lives on. So for our listeners just now exploring Shango, what's the most important thing to remember?
Shango, he's about the complexities of being human. He reminds us it's okay to embrace our strengths and our weaknesses, our triumphs, our failures. They're all part of it. And even with those flaws, those dark moments, we can still rise, overcome, find joy, like through music, through dance. He's resilience, the power of believing in something greater than ourselves.
That is beautifully said, and a great note to end on. So to our listeners, we encourage you, go deeper into Shango's stories, his traditions, explore those complexities, those contradictions, and discover why this ancient Orisha still holds such power today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.